David Haye has been fined £25,000 by the British Board of Boxing Control for his conduct and comments that he made in the lead up to his fight with Tony Bellew earlier this year. The British Board of Boxing Control have put out a statement regarding this issue, which I'm going to quote from right now. It goes as follows. The stewards of the British Board of Boxing Control considered the behaviour and comments made by boxer David Haye for his contest with Tony Bellew on March 4th, 2017 at the O2 Arena, London, at their board meeting on Wednesday, 14th of June, 2017. Mr. Haye admitted that his behaviour amounted to misconduct and brought boxing into disrepute. The stewards fined Mr. Haye the sum of £25,000. So that is a quote from the statement that was put out by the British Board of Boxing Control. I don't believe it's the full statement. This is kind of a wider issue. And actually, I'm quite interested to know, maybe somebody will know the answer to this, where the money goes when the British Board of Boxing Control fine people. Where does the money go? I think that's a valid and good question. And who sets the amount for these fines? Is there a certain amount in the rule book somewhere with the British Board of Boxing Control? What's the cap on these fines? How do they make up these numbers from thin air? Where does the money go? As I say, is it divided up between board members? I mean, what happens with it? Seriously. But in terms of the things that David Haye said, one of the statements that he made, or one of the comments that he made, which got him this fine, is he referred to a section of Tony Bellew's supporters in Liverpool as retards. Now, this is kind of in the category of political correctness. In the United States, using the word retard is very common. I mean, the word retard is still used to describe people who are mentally challenged in the United States quite openly. Even officially, people will use the word retard on television and stuff like that, and there's no real big hoopla about it. Mentally disabled people are, as I say, quite often still referred to as retards in the United States. In the UK, there's really a crackdown on words like that. They don't like it. They don't want people using it. You can end up getting fined or whatever if you're a public figure like David Haye and you come under the jurisdiction of the British Board of Boxing Control, so on and so forth. I'm a believer in freedom of speech. In the United Kingdom and in most Western countries, there certainly is not freedom of speech. Anybody who's under that delusion is, well, deluded. We don't have freedom of speech. We have the freedom to say certain things. We have the freedom to openly criticize our government. Yes, but beyond that, most people are treading on eggshells when it comes to what they're allowed to say and what they're not allowed to say. You can end up in prison for saying certain words publicly in the United Kingdom. That is not freedom of speech, I'm afraid, people. I'm not, I get, for example, my fair share of idiots and whatever on social media and definitely on YouTube comments who hurl racial abuse at me. They leave racist comments. Am I going to want to go and get those people prosecuted for using them racial terms? Hell no. I do not want anybody sent to prison for leaving me racist comments. Do I like those people doing that? Do I respect them? Absolutely not. But I don't want them to get sent to prison for saying what they're saying. I can just delete them and block them. I certainly don't want them to be prosecuted legally. Hell no. That's not freedom of speech, is it? That's not me supporting freedom of speech. If I'm getting people locked up for saying certain words. If you're talking about inciting violence against somebody, that's different. That's not somebody just saying whatever words they want. It's somebody trying to incite violence against a certain person or a certain group. That's different. But if you're talking about just using certain words, I don't believe people should be getting fined like David Haye. I don't believe people should be sent to prison or anything like that. I think that's terrible. That's not freedom of speech. But anyway, David Haye has been fined, and for the amount of money he made for the Bellew fight, 25 grand probably won't hit his pocket that hard. For most people, that's like a year's wages or more. I mean, the majority of people are probably not even on £25,000 a year in Britain. I know the average wage in Britain is like 25 grand or whatever, but that average is worked out by taking the highest wage and the lowest wage and meeting somewhere in the middle. That's how they calculate that average. If you talk about the percentage of people in the United Kingdom that are on less than £25,000 a year, it's probably the majority. It's probably over 50% of people in the United Kingdom that get paid less than 25 grand a year. But David Haye, fortunately for him, due to his talent and his business savvy and smarts within the arena of boxing, for him paying 25 grand, it would seem, is nothing. Chicken change. So that is what that is. Anyway, hopefully I've given you some food for thought. And let me know what you feel about David Haye and this fine. What do you think about situations like this? Do you think fighters should be allowed to say more and talk more trash without getting fined? And what do you think about the difference in the United States compared to the UK? In the United States, they allow a lot more trash talk. They allow the trash talk to be a lot more extreme without fining people. People do get fined in certain instances, but for the most part in America, when it comes to boxing at least, the trash talk is more extreme, more personal. Even the behavior and conduct can be more extreme in the United States without people getting fined. In the UK, you know, they want to put this PC facade all over boxing. And if you try and break that mold, if you say anything even slightly on PC, you're going to have problems with the British Board of Boxing Control. And that's just the British media all over. Not just the British Board of Boxing Control, which obviously is not part of the media, but I'm just saying in the UK, the British media tends to be, especially broadcast media, tends to be far more PC than American broadcast media and so on and so forth. Anyway, let me not waffle on for too long. Give me your thoughts and views in the comment section below. It's happening, I'm out.